Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are here with me today, and if you are new, I am a professional intuitive empath, and today we're going to get into just a quick survival's guide for how to talk to your lover in their language, or how you might want to be talked to as the lover in your language. The quick preliminary is there are 5 love languages, primary, and they can be mixed and matched in any kind of cocktail. We have several in each of our personality makeups. What you need to know is that your partner, your lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse, your family, ride or die, whomever it is, even platonic partnerships have love languages, right? And so, what I wanted to do and what my angels asked me to do for you is go over some quick tips. So, I've made some notes about how you can appeal to your lover's language. So, for those of you, and I will be putting up the rest of the title as soon as it loads, but for those of you who have words of affirmation as a primary love language, or it is your partner's primary love language, these are the quick tips that you can do. You can compliment them. So actually talking to them, their outfit, how they look, what they're wearing, what they've done for you, something that they did well in a project at, whether they're in college or whether they are at work, or whether it's like they're a Boy Scout or Girl Scout mom. Words of affirmation, people respond very much to being acknowledged in that way. Another thing you can do is tell them what you appreciate about them specifically. So tell them why you appreciate them. What about their connection makes you feel appreciated too? People that like words of affirmation want to also hear that from you. So talk to them about how you feel appreciated, or how you appreciate what they have done for you, even if it's small as scrambling your eggs just the perfect way that you like. That will light up a person with words of affirmations as their primary love language. It will light up their life. You can write a sweet note. Words of affirmation, people are old school. They love snail mail. Even if you live in the house with your partner, if you send them a letter, that will delight their life. Some of For me specifically, guys, y'all know I will say my story, but I am words of affirmation as a primary love language. So my favorite things that have ever happened are notes from people. Not everybody has that. So when I know that I'm with a person, whether it's a friend or a spouse, a husband or a wife, because I've had them all, when I'm with a person, I know that, and it's not their primary love language. When I get a note from them or a card or something, I usually hold on to it forever. If I get a letter from a friend, I hold on to it forever, because it makes me feel so loved and so good. Words of affirmation mean everything to me, and for the person in your life that means something too, especially if it's not your other person's primary love language. It will mean something to them as well, that they are being acknowledged, that you value that. Meaning, I have a spouse who his primary love language is more acts of service than it is words of affirmation. So when he does write me something, I know that he is stretching himself to meet me where I'm at, because that is not his primary love language. And that's why a person with words of affirmation as their primary will appreciate it if you go out of your way to connect with words, even if it's just writing them some snail mail, meaning putting it in the postal service. The next thing is just give them a call to say, I love you. Some of the most delighted things have happened when I have had my words of affirmation husband, or excuse me, my acts of service primary love language husband, literally be like, have I just told you that I love you? I don't know if he read it somewhere, but in the recent years, he's turned into this person who has got it. He's got what my love language is, and he connects with me in that way. Also with besties, we all say what we need to say. And I heap on the praises, but that's because that's how I receive love. But I also give love that way too. So if you have a words of affirmation person in your life, call to say, I love you. Cue Stevie Wonder. I just call to say, I love you. Just call to say how much you care. And even if you don't understand how to do it completely, the person that receives love that way will know that you are sincere. The next thing I wrote down is encourage them regularly. Words of affirmation, people need the unsolicited pep talk. So even if you think like, I don't know what to say, or I'm exhausted today, or I don't know how to connect, even if it's like a regular thing that they're doing, man, you're doing that really well. I know you've been working on the project, sweetie. How are you feeling? I have a bestie that connects with me that way. You've been putting out a lot of energy. She literally gauges my energy by percentile, and it's one of my favorite things. And not I didn't even know that it was something that mattered to me, but it matter to me because she was connecting with me verbally. And she was saying, listen, I'm paying attention energetically to what's going on with you. Here's my verbal feedback. How can we adjust? Are you okay? What do you need? How can I help you today? Or you've done a great job today, or you've been working really hard at this and it's finally paid off. And I'm so proud of you. This changes my life with someone that I love, whether it is a friend, my husband, or my mom. So for someone that is a words of affirmation person, and I will speak long about this because this is my jam and my wheelhouse, like I personally get how words of affirmation people work. If you encourage them while they're doing their work, they will whistle while they work. They will twerk while they work. They will just be happier in general because they just like to know that someone is noticing. They don't necessarily fish for compliments. So that way, when it's unsolicited words of affirmation and encouragement, it's so appreciated. That's how you can love your person who has it as a primary language. The next thing that I have here for you is you can let them know when you're impressed or smitten with something they did or said. Some of my favorite connections happen if someone lets me know and gives me feedback, whether I'm talking about like basic sexual interactions. I'm a quarterbacker. I'm a quarterbacker. I'm doing the Monday replay. Like, oh, so what did you think? How can we play that? And not so much fishing for compliments, but as a words of affirmation person, having an engaging conversation with my partner after post coitus or maybe a day or two after a particularly spectacular moment is a really very cool thing for me. And maybe that's something you should try with your lover. If it's your lover specifically, you should try that. Even if it's like a friend and you guys had a really cool friend date or you had a really cool time that you played, just being like, that was so funny. We do that naturally. You notice we have our inside jokes and we'll recap things that happened. And I can't believe you did this. That is words of affirmation coming into play because no matter where you are on the spectrum of your love language, we are affected that way by going over something that was special to us in words. So if you let someone know that you're smitten with them or whatever, it will affect them deeply. So I've given you cases of lovers and my husband, and in the case of Bestie, recently my Bestie said something to me and she was like, I'm so honored that something or other. She was giving me, it kind of like took me back, even as a words of affirmation person. I was like, wow, this is so sweet. The words that she said to me, and it was encouraging and it was just about us. It was just a little bestie thing. But I was like, wow, but she gets me. And we both happen to have that as a primary. So that works out easier. But here's the thing, guys, even if it's not both of you and whomever is primary, whether it's your lover, your partner, your bestie, your mama, whoever, even if it's not both of your primary love languages, if you can stretch to meet the other, what it shows is appreciation and it shows a desire to connect and it makes someone feel absolutely loved. So that's the last thing that I recommend is definitely let them know that you're smitten with something that they said or did. They will appreciate you appreciating them and they will find a way to love you, whether that is your primary love language or not. Maybe it's about something you do, maybe it's about physical touch, maybe it's about quality time, but they will repay it in kind because when you meet someone with words of affirmation, they will be sure to let you know, not just with words, how much in their heart good seeds of positive light you did so. And that's what you need to know. I wanted to keep these quick because I have 5 to get through and we may have some other work that we do this evening. Come back and join me next time though, and we will continue to evolve together.